Grades 10 and 12 student of Concepcion Catholic School, their teacher and advisors, other faculty, and of course, Sisters Elda and Sister Cecilia of the Order of Preachers. It is a wonderful day to be of service to all of you as a former students of our beloved alma mater. I'm your Aching Juvie of batch 1996 and currently resides in Parañaque City. While my co-MC here is my dear friend and batchmate, your Aching Gail, who now lives in Long Beach, California.
Thank you, Juvie. It was only 25 years ago that Juvie and I were in your shoes, just about to graduate high school. We all know that mixed feelings of excitement and uncertainty. Excited because finally, after years and years in the four corners of our school, we will soon be graduating. But also, we cannot hide from the fact that we were scared too, because we were not certain as to what was going to happen after we leave these familiar halls of our school.
Grades 10 and 12, Aching Gail and I will certainly assure you that the best approach is to take one day at a time. You are in the best moment of your lives, so just enjoy it. Have faith and determination. Trust on the knowledge that you have learned from our school.
For one, it took us to places that we may not imagine when we were in your shoes. College was not easy. Career after that was challenging, and personal lives, like starting a family of your own, can be equally challenging, but definitely fulfilling and worth of every minute.
Today, as your Achis and Koyas, we want to share some tips to you. They may not be the exact answers to your questions and curiosity, but they will for sure guide you in the right direction and perhaps give you the options.
Well, having options are the best. I wish we had this kind of career talk during our time. It could have made easier for us to pick the right career.
And hearing from different alumni professionals who unselfishly volunteered their time and effort today, it is for sure all of you current students can learn a lot.
So, without further ado, let us begin our annual Alumni Giving Back project, dubbed
The Power of Two, an annual career talk for our C.C.S. grades 10 and 12.
First, Juvie will tell you more about our Alumni Association, which you yourselves will eventually be a member.
Good day, everyone, to our fellow grade 10 and 12, our future. Who we are as Alumni Association. My name is Juvie Q. Reboriano of batch 1996, presently residing in Parañaque City. So who are we? Let me just give you a brief introductions of our association. So we are C.C.S, which stands for Concepcion Catholic School, HSA, Holy Spirit Academy, LFA, Little Flower Academy Alumni Association. We are a legal and nonprofit organization first established in Los Angeles, California in USA. It has a 501c3 status, meaning we are nonprofit organizations. Currently, we are also working to do the same in the Philippines. The association is currently managed by the alumni boards. And take note that these alumni boards are our lifetime alumni boards, unless some reasons for them to justify if they need to leave such or resign, such as health issues. So just to give you the details or the current alumni boards as of this moment, we have our president, Roland Santos, hails from the batch of 1976. Our vice president from the US, it's Robert Vicencio of batch 1977. Our vice president for Philippines, Miss Anne Dominic Solis Tuazon of batch 2001. Our treasurer, Miss Lucy Tuazon Castro of batch 1974. Our secretary, Miss Monica De Jesus Amromin of batch 1975. The Alumni Association has two advisors, namely Miss Maribel Vicencio of batch 1973 and Mr. Rico S. Dado of batch 1982. Its annual Grand Alumni Homecoming, or also known as AGA, normally held every February, and it's being managed by the Grand Marshals. 3 to 4 alumni volunteers that are recommended by their batchmates and our fellow alumni yearly. This year's Grand Marshals are Jerry Tayag of batch 1978, Butch Castro of 1978, Ron Buan of 1988, Rawi Iturralde Bie of 1991, and because of the COVID right now, they will still continue to be our Grand Marshals until year 2022 with the addition of Ferry Hipolito Romero of batch 1978. The association has two undertakings. So what are those? First, we have the Power of Two. The second is the Past Forward. So what is Power of Two? The Power of Two handles, first, Career Talk, which we are currently doing right now, and the Alumni Student Mentoring. While the Past Forward, we have the 4 pillar goals. First is scholarships. Second, the infrastructure. Third, arts and skills training. And last, teacher retirement assistance. So to our fellow students, grade 10 and 12, and the upcoming alumni, how do we get involved in the alumni associations? Here's how. First, as a member of the Facebook page, the official C.C.S, HSA, LFA Alumni Association, you can log in since they always updates or give us an updates on what's going on. Well, in fact, we can try to do it right now. If you have your phones, please turn them on. Go to this Facebook page and ask yourself to be a member. You can also become a volunteer speaker for the annual Power of Two Career Talk for grades 10 and 12. You can also become a volunteer Grand Marshal for AGA. Why not to be a volunteer as well for a specific alumni committee? You can also be an alumni sponsor or donors in AGA souvenir programs and or on specific projects. As a jubilarian celebrant, you can also get involved, especially if you are celebrating the 25th, 30th, 35th, 40th, 45th, 50th, 55, 60th, 65 of the Jubilee year. And last but not the least, the most important, you can be involved in the Alumni Association by just attending our Association of Grand Alumni Homecoming. So, how do you want to be involved in the association? So when it is your turn, so excited to hear from you. Students, now that you know about who we are, Gail will share with us how to understand your personality and also a great analogy between trees and life career.
Hi, good morning, students. My name is Gail Gatchalianco from batch 1996. I'm currently residing now in Long Beach, California, and I'll talk to you guys about understanding your personality. Before you can define who you are, you have to understand your own personality. Right? Yes. Knowing your personality can help discover what you want to do in life and be happy. Are you good-natured, friendly, sociable, lovable, willing to accept wishes or decisions of others? In short, amiable. Are you expressive or vocal? Are you analytical or logical? Are you an inspirational force that transmits motion to others? Then you are all this type of personality. So we'll go through it one by one. So if your trait is amiable, you're a turtle. The best professions with this kind of trait are nurses, doctors, teachers, and librarians. If you're expressive, you're a monkey. Example of these professions are lawyers and politicians. So if you're vocal like a politician, this is a good personality to have and a profession. If you're analytical and you like to analyze data, stuff like that, you could be an engineer or a CPA. Not myself. This is not a profession for me because I'm not a giraffe. I don't like numbers. That's why I ended up being in a dental field. If you have leadership skills, you're a lion. The best professions for this type of personality is like a president of a company, like a CEO, or a spearhead of a nonprofit organization. Or you could also be a mayor or a governor of a certain community. Which animal personality do you think fits your current traits? Okay, so the next topic we'll discuss is life career tree. There are 3 life sequence parts of a tree. First one is seed. Second one is the trunk. Third one are the branches and the leaves. So the 3 life sequence parts of 3, we start with the seed. Let's relate this to you. So what makes you excited? What is your passion or what is your interest in? So how does it relate to your senior high school strand? First off, we got to think about your passion. What are you most passionate about? Is it leading people? Is it helping others? Is it being that force of motion to inspire other people to do what's best? So second is trunk. How do you get ready for your passion? Your SHA strand, your college degree, your internships training, or after that will be, if you have licensure and postgraduate studies. Then branches and leaves. How do trees branch out and grow? This is through years of expertise, field of expertise, reaching that corporate ladder from the bottom up, and of course, entering some new ventures as you branch out, like networking and meeting the people that it's in your career. So what is your seed? Your passion? Something to think about. What have you decided to pursue? For grade 10, for your senior high school strand, and for the grade 12, your college that you're going to major in. What do you see your life Or where do you see your life going? Well, let us hear from our devoted alumnus, Koing Rico of batch 1982, who will give you guys tips on how to be rich. Okay, Ali pala, how to be smart with money.
Before I begin, I want to set a disclosure that my discussion is all in US dollars, unless I specifically indicate that the info is in Philippine pesos. The reason for this is that I have not lived in the Philippines for 31 years, so I have no clue as to current purchasing power of the Philippine peso since when it was like 14 pesos to US $1. The concepts I'm sharing with you is what is important. Definitely, the concepts can be applied in Philippine setting. I just want to get that out of the way. So let us begin. Please heed this important principle in life, and you will never be poor. Trust me. It is not how much you make. It is how much you save. Let me show you how to practice this important life principle.
Step 1. Set up a weekly or monthly budget. In your budget, first identify all of your source of funds, meaning all that increases your cash. The pluses, I would call them. So this will be your allowance from your parents, salary if you would consider working part-time, and other income source. Maybe you try to sell stuff to your classmates. Anything that involves cash going in, okay? Next, identify all your expenses, meaning all that decreases your cash. The minuses, I would call them. This could be, as a student, you'd probably have to spend money for your snacks or your meals, and also like school supplies, no? And then you get to the savings. Now with the savings, first start to build your emergency funds. And what is that? The emergency funds should be up to 6 times your total expenses. Why? Because during times when money can be hard, like something happened to your parents' source of income, at least you can stretch your waiting up to 6 months. The concept will be the same as to when you start working after college. If you have no choice but to work and study at the same time, because your parents cannot afford to send you to college. Next, any excess of these funds from these emergency funds should go to investments. So your money can start to make more money. The question is, where to put that money to make more money? Or simply let your money work for you. Well, that's when we get to step 2, which is the 3 rules of money. This is about the rule of 72, how money grows, and how money gets taxed. I will go through each item. First, the rule of 72. The rule of 72 says any rate of interest returned for your money, if you take the number 72 and divide it by the interest rate, the answer will give you the number of years your money will double. Okay, I think you'll get to understand it by example. Let's say, well, hey, grades 12. I assume you guys are currently 19 years old. Grade 10, you guys must be 17 years old right now. So if you take a 4-year college degree, you'll be 23 by the time you graduate. Then if your course requires licensing, meaning you take a board exam after some sort, you add another year for review and exams, and you will be 24 by the time you can start working. Well, the first 4 years of job may not be as high of a salary because you have no experience. So by the time you are 29 years old, you probably have some kind of savings for you to invest. Okay? So say at age 29, you have $10,000 saved, and you go to the bank and ask the bank, hey, bank, what can you give me for my $10,000? And they will say, hey, you could open a CD, certificate of deposit, and we'll give you 1%. Or you could also put in a money market account, and it could probably make about 1% a year. Okay, well, apply the rule of 72. So you take 72, you divide it by 1, it is 72 years. So your money double after 72 years. So your 10,000 becomes 20,000 at age 101. OMG. Okay. Well, of course, you're not going to be happy about the 1%. So you found a way to get you a 4% return. So if it's 4%, you take the 72, you divide it by 4, it's 18 years. So every 18 years this time, your money doubles. So from 10,000, at age 47, it doubled to 20,000. At age 65, it became 40,000. That's so much better. Well, because of your resourcefulness, you found another way to increase the rate of return to 6%. Mind you, the stock market returned over 6% in the last 15 years. So take 72, you divide it by 6, it's 12 years. This time, your money doubles every 12 years. So 10,000 became 20 at age 41, 20 became 40 at age 53, and 40 became 80 at age 65. Now, since you're doing a lot of research, you found a better way to double your interest rate to 12%. Again, within the stock market, the S&P, which stands for Standard & Poor's 500, the top 500 companies in the United States, return more than 12% in the last 15 years. So this is possible. So this time, your 10,000 doubled after 6 years to 20,000 at age 35. 20 became 40 at 41. 40 became 80 at 47. 80 became 160,000 at age 53. 160 became 320 at age 59. And 320 became 640,000 at age 65. And you might be one of those who love to work. So you stretch it for another 6 years, your 640,000 doubled to almost 1.3 million at age 71. Okay? Well, that's the power of compounding interest. But the moral here is the higher the interest rate, the faster your money will double. Okay? Okay, well, the interest rate of return is just one thing to consider. Next, which is equally important, is how the money grows. And there are three ways that the money could grow. First is the fix. Fix is just like the money in the bank. The bank gives you a fixed rate and just stays like that for a long time. It's not exciting. You want some excitement? Well, you put it in the blue one. It's called variable. Variable is the stock market. I call this the heart attack chart because if it goes up and then it goes down really low, it can go back up again, and then it goes down, goes up again, it goes down, it goes really high, but it also goes really deep. Okay. That's exciting. Well, is there a better way to do this? Well, a better way is like this. Why not when the stock market goes up, you lock that gain right there, just like here. And then when it goes down, you could cruise through it with a 0% return. And once it goes back up, you lock it again. And then you cruise with 0 return rather than having a negative return. Once it goes up, you lock it again, and then you stay flat when it goes down. I think that's a better approach, right? It's called the index strategy. So there you go. You have the three kinds of how money grows: the fixed, the variable, and the index. What is the moral here? I don't know about you. I prefer this. Okay. And finally, the last and equally important as well is how your money will be taxed by the government. Why is it important? Because the tax by the government can take a chunk of your gains on your investment. Okay, we have 3 buckets here. We call the first bucket tax now. Why? Because all the monies you put in this bucket will be taxed today, every year, whenever it makes money. What are those? It's just like the money in the bank. It grows a little bit. That little interest, you will be taxed for that. Also, if you play the stock market over the counter, you will be taxed on the gains. It's called capital gains. The other one is the tax later bucket. This is mostly the retirement accounts. You will not be taxed yet, but you will be taxed when you start pulling money out at retirement. So these are for like retirement accounts, the tax later bucket. There is another bucket that's better than any of these two. It's called the tax advantage, or I would call the tax never bucket, because any monies you put in here will never be taxed completely, 100%. Okay? So among the 3, which ones do you want? I would prefer this brown bucket. Okay? So far we have discussed the 3 rules of money, and that is the rule of 72. What is the moral? Take the highest interest rate, the highest return for your money. How the money grows between fixed, variable, or index. Choose which one is the best. I believe it's the index strategy. Why? Because you lock in the gains and not experience the dips in the stock market. Next, how the money gets taxed. It's very important where you put your money. Among the 3 buckets, which is the tax now, tax later, and the tax never, or tax advantage, I would prefer the third one, the tax advantage, because you'll never be taxed if you put your money in that bucket. Now, let's put these concepts to work and see how you can be well off, financially secure, in 20, 30 to 40 years. Let me continue with where Gail ended on her discussion about the life career tree analogy. Remember the seed, which relates to your passion and interest, and grew having a solid trunk, which relates to education and some licensure, and eventually branches and leaves, which relates to your professional career, your working years or business venture years. Well, this tree became lush green, and big that the birds start to nest and live on it, which means your family, your co-workers, your employees, your community, and even friends and relatives will depend on you, be it for financial, emotional, or moral support. And after working for years, you rise from the ranks, people will depend on you for all that you know, and eventually, when you reach, say, age 60, you will think about retirement. Well, retirement, it means you're completely not working anymore and you want to take it easy. At retirement, you could do some charitable work, you could do some community involvement, and even consider entering into politics. Or teach students. Well, when you retire, since you're not working as much anymore, you have to have that savings created while you are working. As they said, it all depends on how much you have saved during your working years to retire well. Well, these numbers are all in Philippine pesos. And let's assume that your savings is invested in the stock market that returns 6% on an average in the last 15 years. Just say you're able to save 100 pesos daily. 100 pesos equates to 3,000 monthly. 3,000 is 36,000 yearly. In 20 years, that is 1.3 million in savings at 6% return, by the way. So 1.3 million will guarantee you 6,500 monthly for the rest of your life. In 30 years, it is 2.8 million. That's about 14,000 monthly in guaranteed income. And in 40 years, 5.6 million. That would assure you to have 28,000 monthly for the rest of your life. What if instead of 100, you save more, 500 pesos daily? That equates to 15,000 monthly, 180,000 yearly, 6.6 million in 20 years. That's 33,000 monthly of income for you. In 30 years, it's 14.2 million, 71,000 monthly income. And in 40 years, 27.9 million, that's 139,500 monthly. And what if you are extremely frugal that you put aside 1,000 daily for your savings? That equates to 30,000 monthly, which is 360,000 yearly. That could be 13.2 million in 20 years at 6% yearly return. And that will give you 66,000 monthly. In 30 years, it's 28.5 million. That's 142,500 monthly. And in 40 years, 55.7 million in savings will give you 278,500 monthly for the rest of your life. So, grades 10 and 12. After years of pursuing your career, when you leave this school, say 50 years, how do you see yourself retiring or giving back to your community and school? that's what you need to think about. So that's my sharing about basic financial knowledge. I hope you'll retain most of it. And if you did, you will never be out of money in your life. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, Kong Rico. Well, I myself learned stuff that I wish I have learned when I was your age, my dear students. Well, next, we will hear from my batchmate, our batch salutatorian, Dr. Angelo De Leon of batch 1996.